Hello everyone, it's noon, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with our training on why you should embrace Google. So let's get started. Our featured sponsor is Wells Fargo's Foundation, so we just want to say thank you to them. Our featured member is Thayer County Economic Development Alliance. They have been a Grow Nebraska member since 2020, so that's super awesome, and we love working with their business. Unfortunately, Christy Knapp could not present today, so this week's presenter is Amanda Miller, who is also our membership coordinator for the Grow Nebraska Foundation. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to her and let her take it away.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I'm going to make my screen bigger here for you. Today, we are going to talk about how and why you should embrace Google. I am kind of starting to lose my voice a little bit, so bear with me if I croak here and there. But let's go ahead and get started. So a couple of the things that we're going to cover today is going over Google My Business, and Google is kind of in the process of transition right now. And so they're actually changing the name officially to Google Business Profile, and they haven't released it totally yet, but they are also going to be shifting to going to focus more on the map side of things versus the page side of things. I know that might not mean too much to a lot of you right now, but just kind of keep your eyes and ears open for those changes that are coming about from Google. So a couple things we're going to cover today are how to make your Google Business Profile work for you, how Google helps your online visibility as well as SEO, and Google tools that can make your work more efficient. And a few of the questions that we can answer today is, why is having a Google business page important? How can I get the most out of my Google Business Profile? And how can my business profile help my SEO as well as that online visibility? And then just a few other resources that you guys can utilize that Google has. So on the left here, we've got a picture of Omaha Henry Doorly Zoo's Google page. And so as you can see, there's a lot of content that they have on there. This is a really, really good example. You guys can go on Google and look at this yourself. They've got a great description. They've got, I know you can't really see it down here, but each of these departments are actually linked. So because they're such a large facility, they're able to link those different departments and have them as separate pages. And this is really important for any of you who have multiple locations, or if you're a realtor and you've got multiple realtors in that one specific space. There's different rules that apply to you guys as far as what you can do with Google. And so these departments essentially symbolize that you can take those different locations that your businesses are located at. So let's say you've got Grand Island, Kearney, and Hastings. You can take those specific locations, have a page for each of those, and then all of those can link back to a primary page, if that makes sense. And that is something that we help here at Grow Nebraska with, is being able to help walk our members through those steps. So if you guys are in that kind of position or any position like that, please let us know so that we can help do a Google training with you and walk through those steps. There are always different fun things that arise with Google that we get to help solve. So, and a couple of statistics here for you. With more than 30.7 million small businesses competing in the United States, investing in Google My Business SEO is an integral in establishing your industry authority as well as driving customer engagement. And the up-to-date business profiles are almost 3 times more likely to be considered more reputable. And then up-to-date profiles also are 70% more likely to attract location visits and 50% more likely to lead to a purchase. So some really great statistics there. We'll have a few more coming up as well. This is the anatomy of, this is a mobile version that you guys are looking at here of the Google My Business page. And so at the top, you've got your name, you've got your photos on the right-hand side. Here you've got some quick links where people can contact you. They can go to your website. They can ask for driving directions, and those are all things that Google actually tracks for you, so you can see statistics on those. And then you've got the location, And this is important. So if you guys set up a page or you have not set up a Google My Business page yet, you'll either have a physical location of a storefront maybe that you own, or if you work out of your home, you're going to want to make sure that you set yourself up to have a service area versus a physical location. You do also have the hours and a phone number, and those are just kind of the beginning steps there. And then I also did want to show you this. So some businesses will come to us and say, so-and-so employee managed this, our page, like 3 years ago. We don't know how to get access to it. So we kind of have to go through a couple different steps to get them access. And this is one of them that you can do. So if you Google yourself and you find that you have a page out there, there is, you scroll down just a little bit, there's an Own This Business and you can claim it now button. And so if you click on that, it will walk you through the different questions as far as how to claim your business, like what the name is, what your category is, just kind of walk you through being able to verify who you are. And so that's one way that you can claim if you don't know how to log into the back end of your Google My Business profile, which is where you would log in would be the google.com/business. So if you're not able to get into there, then you can come to the front end and you can do it this way. So there is going to be a handout here in the handout section. And so with that handout section, you're going to be able to see kind of a walkthrough of how to download your business profile and how to be able to set one up for yourself. So here's a couple steps. You go to, and I don't know how well you guys can read this, but you go to google.com/business, and then there will be a Manage Now button at the top, as well as a sign in. So if you have a page, you can sign in. Otherwise, you can just hit the Manage Now, and then you enter the name of the business. And like I said, it'll walk you through some questions like choose your category, enter your address. When you set this up, you want to make sure that when it asks for your physical address, again, if you are a service location, you don't want to put that. You can skip that, and then it will ask you for a service location. With that, you're able to put Nebraska, USA. You're able to put Kearney, Nebraska, Grand Island, Nebraska, wherever you service the most, you can put those areas in there. You can choose more than one area, which is nice. And then it'll walk you through, your phone number, website, make sure that you link your social media accounts. And then if you have like a menu or anything like that, you want to make sure to link that as well. And then a couple different business types, kind of like what I've been walking you guys through is the product versus the service businesses. So based on the category that you choose when you set your page up, Google will give you different options as to what are readily available for you guys to be able to update. So product businesses, you can add photos, products, updates, or new releases as posts. So you both will have product and service businesses will both have the option to do different posts. There's just different areas that we want to focus on. So product businesses, you want to focus on, you can take Facebook posts and kind of integrate them into Google as far as putting the image, and then you can change the verbiage if you want from what you had on Facebook. But making sure that you're sharing about your products, if you've got recipes, you can share things like that. And then service businesses, you can really utilize the tool of being able to educate people. And so if you've got some fun educational facts or pieces, or if you've got educational blogs and things that you do, you can tie to that as well. And then with product businesses, you can also do order placement. So you can put whether you do delivery or online ordering. You can add a menu, which is a really big deal if you are a food business. And then service businesses, you can also add secondary categories. So if you've got like a business that does business consulting, for example, you can do a subcategory of that. And it could be like executive consulting or team building consulting. So you can have some sub categories there. And all of those categories are also triggering SEO or search engine optimization for you guys. So that's really good as far as making your visibility work better for you online, and just making sure that we have those keywords implemented in there. So having those extra categories is really helpful to that as well. We're going to see if this link will work. Maybe. Okay. We're going to do it this way. Okay, so this is our Google My Business page on the back side of it. And so you can see there are tabs on the left-hand side here. So once you get verified, again, once you go through all those steps of answering all those questions, and then Google will tell you at the end whether or not you need to verify via postcard. And so when they say that, they'll have you put in your address, and then they'll send you a postcard. It'll have a 5-digit code on it, and you put that code in to verify that your business is related to that address that postcard got sent to. The other way that they can have you verify is via text message or via email, but Google doesn't always offer that option. Sometimes it does only give you the option to do a postcard. So you just kind of have to see when you're done filling out those questions what Google has available for you. And on this left side, there is posts. And so you really want to try to post at least once a week, if not more. There's a little blue guy down here that you can do a post. You can do event posts. You can do offer posts, product posts. The what's new is a really popular one. So you can add like a photo, the description of whatever verbiage you're wanting to use. And then you can use each of these buttons. Okay. So you can link these anywhere. So it can be your website. It can be if you've got an online menu. It can be linked to anywhere, and you can choose any one of these buttons. And then also, again, you can link your blogs here, recipes. And then under info, you just want to make sure that you go through here every once in a while, make sure that your categories are all updated. Google does tend to update from the business categories, just in association with what's going on kind of in the world, partly as well as what people are wanting to have offered as a category and as options that they can choose. So here's the service options. You can do products. There is actually a products post over here on the left-hand side. There's a products tab that would be better to add your products than it would be specifically here, but Google does give that as an additional option. So you can have an order link based on your business type. Again, link your social media, put your hours. You can do special hours. So if it's a holiday, and then making sure that you have your address correct and everything like that. And then underneath your name, you have subcategories. So here you can put subcategories. You can add additional categories. You want to make sure that whatever is applicable to your business is what you're choosing. You don't want to just choose some random category. We have grocery store as one of our categories just because we do carry a lot of like the jams, the jellies, things like that. And we do have some people that come in here and say that they found us because they were looking for a grocery store and they came to check out what we had. And so it does get that SEO out there, and it is capturing people's search results. The insights is a neat feature. You can go through and see all the different kinds of data and analytics that they have. Definitely a good idea to track some of those to see kind of where you're at. And then for reviews, you can go in the back end of here and you can respond to all your reviews. So the edit will say respond. You want to make sure to respond to all of them because that shows that there's verification, but also it shows reputable conversation, right? If somebody's looking for your reviews and seeing that you're responding to all those customers, it shows that you're engaged, and Google loves that, but also the customers that are looking at your reviews love that as well. Calls tracks how many calls you get in a month. And then the same with the messages. You can get messages on Google. So if somebody has questions, if you do consulting, that's a really good option, especially photos. You definitely want to add photos. We try to add, like I said, like 2 to 3 a week, just because we have a lot of different photos that we can use in here, and they get a lot of views. So even if you have like 50 photos, you could possibly be getting, a few thousand views a month. So they do get seen a lot more than what you would potentially think. So it's really important to update them here. And one side note, when you add a post and you add a photo to that post, that photo does not also go underneath this photos category. You would think it would, but it doesn't. So just make sure that when you add a post that you also add that photo to the photos category. Products, this is where you can add your products. So we've got a Shopify account. It links really well. So that and Square are ones that link very well. And then you can have different services listed. This website option is a great suggestion if somebody's starting out as a brand new business, you don't have any visibility online. You can see that it takes all the information from the above tabs and it makes you a web page essentially. So it will pull in your updated posts, updated reviews, everything like that. So it's really, really nice for a business that is just starting out. Okay. Stop sharing and jump over here again. So why continually add photos, posts, and response to reviews? Google 2021 statistics state that businesses with pictures in their business listing receive 42% more requests for driving directions and 35% more click-throughs, than those that don't. 86% of people look at the location of a business through Google Maps. 86%. So that's about 86% of people that are looking before they visit a store. That's a big number. 31% of small businesses in the US closed down due to the coronavirus pandemic, and only 51% of small businesses increased their online interactions with customers to adapt to the pandemic. So that means that there's 49% of us that need to work on adapting to the changes that have happened. Obviously, things are going to at some point shift back a little bit, but it's never going to totally go back. So the more that we can keep trying to educate ourselves and growing to become more active online and just be more visible and get that SEO working for us in multiple ways, the better that we're going to be going forward. And then 88% of customers trust online reviews. So I know that a couple of gals here in the office, they have shared with us that they don't actually go to any location at all if there's no reviews. So especially the younger generations, it is very important to them to be able to see reviews and make decisions based off of that. How does having a Google My Business profile help SEO? So Google My Business optimization allows you to attract attention to your brand, boost your local presence, provide accurate information to online users, engage with customers, again, like the reviews we were just talking about, build your brand authority, earn customer trust, strengthen your online reputation, drive quality leads and traffic to your website, rank high on search results, and create and share updates, events, and announcements. So the creating updates, events, and announcements, that's under that posts area that we talked about. And a lot of these tie back to also collectively having your data and your information correct on all platforms online. So we want to make sure that whatever you name your Google My Business page, right, it obviously should be your business name. But for example, like if you leave LLC off of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of these other locations, it's possible that you'd want to think about leaving the LLC off of your Google My Business page, because we do want it to be consistent. So if you've got an umbrella type business, so if you've got like an umbrella name and then your additional business name is underneath of that, and both of those are kind of floating around out in cyberspace, we want to kind of bring those back into center and make sure that when people are able to find you and learn about your brand, that they're able to find your brand easily, right? Because we want that brand recognition. And if we have different names or even different products necessarily that are just kind of all over the place, then people aren't able to take your brand recognition and be able to just say, hey, that's Nike. Hey, whatever the case may be. So there's two different kinds of SEO. Local SEO is anytime someone searches near me or product plus location. So if they're looking for best coffee in Kearney, Nebraska, obviously if I am a coffee shop in Lincoln, I'm not going to come up before the Kearney, Nebraska ones, because the local SEO takes over. So if somebody's looking based on a location, that is going to take over any other location that might be farther away, if that makes sense. And this is especially important for businesses with multiple locations. Yes, because if you have a location in Holdridge and you have a location in Kearney, you want to make sure that you have 2 separate pages for both of those locations, so that if somebody is searching for just the coffee shop in Kearney, best coffee shops in Kearney, we want to make sure that they can find you. Otherwise, they might not find that other one in Holdridge. And then the organic SEO is any other way that something is searched and is not location specific. So if somebody just searches best digital agencies, that could be pulling agencies from Texas, from Rhode Island, from all over. So you just kind of want to think about those 2 different things, and then also implementing those into the search engine optimization, whether it's Google ads that you guys are running, or Facebook ads, or different content that you're putting in the back end of your website. We want to make sure that we're kind of thinking about how people are searching for you and your products. And again, being able to tie in that brand loyalty so people can find you easily. Here's a couple more statistics for local SEO. 70% of customers visit a store based on the information they find online. And that was statistics from Google from 2021. And Google searches that contain near me have increased 34% or 34 times, since 2011. That's a lot. More than 50% of near me searches result in a store visit, which is awesome. And 50% of customers who conduct mobile searches for a local business will visit the store within 1 day, which I thought was pretty interesting. So if somebody is searching, then they're more apt to come visit you the next day, especially like us where we're located right next to the hotels. So if somebody's searching for us or a product that we carry, it's definitely more likely that they're going to come visit us within the next 1 or 2 days, because a lot of them are staying in the hotels. And then 18% of these searches lead to a purchase. So some additional tools that Google has, they have more than this. Actually, if you just Google Google tools, then there's a whole plethora of different things that Google has to offer. I just found one yesterday for a couple businesses that Google has an option to offer a virtual tour. And so I've seen them around, but I didn't really realize that there was a specific platform through Google, and I actually did find that yesterday. So that's pretty neat. Google is always coming out with these new things, especially with how things are changing and evolving. Google's always putting out different products to be able to help their customer. So that's good to keep an eye out and see kind of what Google is adding. So I know it's kind of small font, but this one on the left-hand side is how to create a Google alert. So if you Google create Google alert, you literally just hit create alert, and then you can start creating alerts. And what that does is it's a service offered by Google that sends you emails when the user gets results. So if you put in if we put in Buy Nebraska, right, as a Google alert, that anytime something like a news article or something happens with Buy Nebraska mentioned in it, then we would get an email and we would get notified. So that's kind of a cool way to be able to keep tabs on things that are going on. So if there's a business that you're wanting to follow, or you're wanting to just kind of know if, a different business that is maybe associated with, if you're a larger business, if there's another business that's associated with you guys and you want to know any kind of news facts or anything that happens with them, you can put a Google alert in for them, and then you will get notified. And then Google offers a bunch of different virtual workshops. And so if you go to g.co/grow-on-air, they've got a lot of cool workshops there. And then they also do have an app called Primer. And so g.co/primer is a lot of just different short business lessons. Really great. They're really short. A lot of them are like 5 to 15 minutes. So great tool there. And then another one is g.co/search console. And so this is a really common one for testing websites. it helps you measure your site's search traffic and performance. There are a few other tools out there for like Google Analytics and Google Ads. I know that the original presenter was going to talk a little bit more about Google Ads, but I'm not going to get into that too much today. But there are a lot of options out there as far as Google Ads go. And there's a lot of information for you to be able to learn from that as well. And there are a couple different informational sessions on Primer on Google Ads as well. So if you really want to learn the best tips and tricks to dominating Google, you need to be at MarketTech this year. It is June 22nd, and the pre-conference is going to be June 21st this year. So the all-day conference is June 22nd, and Maria Duran is going to be there. She's a top speaker with Google. So definitely register. You can register at MarketTechConference.com. You can bring your employees, your marketing employees. You can bring yourself. You can bring your spouse. Bring whoever you think that would benefit from marketing and technology information. This conference is never the same 2 years in a row, which is why people love it. And there's always something that you take away. The speakers are always bringing new information to the table and information that multiple businesses, because we work with such a variety of businesses, we bring speakers in that can speak to multiple different kinds of businesses, and they can take those tidbits and take them home and implement them into their businesses, which is very important to us. So make sure to get registered for that. If you have questions, let us know. That's all I have for you today. I think I see a couple questions. Anybody else have any other questions? I'm going to kind of look at the chat here. So Tanya asks, how often should we update the Google page? Once a week, once a month? So again, I definitely would suggest at least once a week. You could do it more than once a week, but Google does only accept 3 posts within a 2-day period as well. So if you're taking within 24 hours, if you're like, I'm going to upload 7-8 different posts, don't do that. Definitely spread it out, because Google does take the most current ones and pushes those up to the top. What are the most important factors, Katie asks, to making your profile look good? Just making sure that everything is updated. One of the things that some people tend to miss is your hours. People really do pay attention to that. So if for some reason you close early, or you decide that you're going to change your hours for a couple months, make sure that you get those changed on Google as well as any other platform that you have them on. Sometimes people will think about changing them on Google, but not Facebook. Sometimes people will change them on Facebook and not Google. So just make sure that you have them changed on both of those platforms. And then also those doing the posts and adding photos, right? And then also responding to reviews. Those are probably the 3 biggest ones that Google really just boosts you to the top as far as SEO goes, when those consistently get updated. When you claim your business, does Google call you? We keep getting calls from a computer that says we have not verified our website and we need to verify information to keep it open. Okay, Rhoda, one, I would say that we should probably have a call today, or I'll shoot you an email and we can kind of figure out a time to talk and see what maybe that is relayed to. But also, too, Google does not typically call you unless you're getting yourself verified. So if you're in the process of verifying your business and it says, okay, here's 3 options to verify your business. You can get a text, you can get a postcard, or we can call you at your number. That should be the only time that Google calls you. So if you're getting calls from Google per se that's saying, you need to update your business listing, blah, 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 blah. There are a lot of spam calls out there that are going around right now that I guess involve that. So if you guys ever have questions about that, please let us know. Again, that's what we're here for, to try and help figure those Google issues out. And any kind of issue that we can't necessarily figure out, we can go to our personal rep from Google that we have. And so we can kind of work with him too. And then Tanya asks, do you have suggestions on how we can get people to review us on Google? Yeah, you can kind of get creative with it depending on also like the size of your business. But if you're like a boutique, you could offer a 10% off card if somebody gives you a review. Or I know that there's a really neat shake place here in town in Kearney that they actually will give you $1 off when you give them a review. So that's like a really big incentive for them. And they've got a really good social media following and just very loyal customers because they keep their information and they offer that discount option. So there's some different suggestions you can do as far as that goes. But making sure that you tell your clients and the ones that are repeat customers to please review you. If they're repetitively buying from you, they're going to want to review you. And if they don't, then I don't know what to tell you, but they should want to review you. And if they don't know how to, just walk them through it really quick. It's super easy. So they can just literally just look you up on Google and go to your business profile on that right-hand side and write a review. They can add a picture with it, which is great, especially for food locations. I know that when I post about food businesses, that a lot of times I'll take a picture of the food that I'm eating and leave a review. So that is a good way to do that as well. Any other questions for me? My email and my phone number are on there as well. I'm going to pull up and go over a couple other things here. Okay, so if you have any questions about additional trainings or what's coming up, you definitely can reach out to Lindsay. She's the one who is in charge of these third Thursday trainings typically. And if you have questions about Google in general, then you can reach out to me. Our upcoming trainings are March 24th is Budget to Success. Nika Johnson is a powerhouse, so that's going to be really good. And then April 21st is Selling Products on Third-Party Websites. And our Grow with Google series, if you guys have not heard about this, please look into it. April 6th, so every first Wednesday of the month, we do a Google series training. And so it's on different topics related to Google. No, you don't get to listen to me every time. It's Dave, our Google guy, and then Sixtia is our Google gal who does the Spanish trainings. And so April 6th, the English one is going to be from 2 to 3. Typically, it's from noon to 1. But April 6th, it's from 2 to 3. So note that time change. And then Spanish is going to be from 6 to 7 Central Time. And the topic is going to be digital skills for everyday tasks. So that will be good with them as well. So if you guys have any questions about that, let us know. And if there's ever a topic that you guys are wanting to learn about that we haven't done a training on, please reach out to us. Let us know. We're always wanting to give you guys the resources you need and be able to bring people on that can bring information that you guys can benefit from. So Elizabeth asks how she can rewatch this presentation. So you will get a recording of this presentation after this is done. If for some reason you don't, please reach out to us and let us know. But you should be receiving that in a couple hours. There's no other questions. I will let you guys go. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Did you guys see the handout? Let's see if it's... Okay. See if you can see the handout now. Hopefully it's visible for you guys. Okay, and that handout is to walk through how to set up the Google page. And again, if there's any questions, let me know. There's always fun things to deal with Google. And there can be some interesting situations if a business has been running for a while and has either been sold and rebought, or you guys have had an employee in the past manage it. So definitely let us know if you have questions, okay? Awesome. Well, thanks for being on, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. We will see you next time.